My research presentation is on the Theater of Dionysus. So first off, I'd like to start off with the history and structure of the theater. So what is the Theater of Dionysus? The Theater of Dionysus dates back to the 6th century, and it is located in Athens, Greece. This is the first theater to be built in Athens. As you can see, the theater was quite large. It accommodated a 17,000 person audience, and the outdoor theater used a theatron layout. As you can see, the central stage there is encompassed with this rake stage layout made of limestone bleachers enclosing the theater. The front row of this bleacher is the VIP section. The VIP section contained marble thrones, and it was a privilege for priests and government officials. There was also a grander central throne for the high priest of Dionysus. And moving forward from the theatron, you see the orchestra. This is where the chorus performed during the play, setting the tone for the play. The backstage area was called the scene, often used as a backdrop for the play. Moving on, I'd like to talk about the playwrights and plays that were in the Theater of Dionysus. So similar to many popular plays at the time, most plays performed in the Theater of Dionysus were comedies and tragedies. Thanks to the theater, the work of dramatists such as Sophocles, as we can see here, was known for Oedipus Rex, and Euripides was also presented a lot of plays in the Theater of Dionysus. One of his famous plays is the Bacchae. Also like to talk about the audience that attended this theater. So the spectators were usually people that were very religious. Thousands would attend for celebration, a lot of the time with family, but there was some social class division in the place. The rich were usually the ones with seats at the front row, cushioned and comfortable. Peasants and artisans were forced into seats in the back. Women were also forced into these seats in the back, representing a gender discrimination at the time. Also love to talk about the meaning of liveness, contemporary theater and in the Theater of Dionysus. So in contemporary theater, I personally see the liveness quality as the main selling point over other entertainment forms we see today. Liveness is anything that allows the actors on stage and the audience to share the performance at the exact same moment, allowing for that enhanced, willing suspension of disbelief. The performance is untouched, and only the raw exhibition in the front of the audience is allowed. According to Matt Truman, the live experience depends on the momentary collaboration necessitated by the live event between the audience and performer. In the Theater of Dionysus, liveness in the 5th century has no comparison to it at the time. There were no movies, TV, and any other form of consumable media. Theater was really all they had. With this comes with a certain novelty. It's a new form of entertainment at the time. It's what everyone, including the rich people, were watching. The liveness was not only fresh, but creative. And the expectation of audiences were a little different than what we see now. They were always a very lively crowd. People were often vocal and were free to display any sort of reaction towards the performance. Disapproval of a play would often be conveyed with gestures ranging from loud groans to thrown stones. This opposed to the expectations we have in today's theater, where audience members have a responsibility to be attentive and allow the performers to do their thing. So what place did theater have in society? Theater in the 5th century was free to everyone and enjoyed by many. Censorship was very little. Both the actors and audience were absorbed with the performance, with the audience especially falling into that willing suspension of disbelief. So who could write these plays? Most playwrights were directors for those plays as well. being a playwright was also considered an important contribution to life and a great honor. A lot of playwrights, such as Thespis, were also actors in their plays. All performers were male actors, often also playing female roles. Often 3 performers were allowed on stage, consisting of 1 star performer and 2 other stage actors. So I'd like to use this time to ask any questions, any responses. And thank you for listening.